You can stare at fire for a weirdly long time. A candle, a fireplace, a campfire, even a fake fireplace video on a screen, nothing is really happening. No plot, no characters, no notifications, just flames moving in the dark, and somehow your brain keeps watching. But here is the strange part. That calm feeling may not be random. It may come from a time when fire was the difference between surviving the night and becoming something else's dinner. Because for most of human history, night was not cozy. Night was dangerous. Before streetlights, locked doors, electric lamps, and phones glowing under blankets, darkness was a problem. A serious problem. Humans are not naturally great night animals. We do not have the eyes of cats. We do not have the noses of wolves. We do not have the claws of bears. In the dark, early humans were soft, slow, and extremely edible. The world did not become peaceful just because the sun went down. If anything, the world became more alive. Predators moved. Cold spread. Sounds became harder to understand. Every snap of a branch could mean nothing, or it could mean something with teeth had just noticed you. Then came fire. And fire changed the night. Fire gave humans a small circle of control inside a world that was mostly uncontrollable. Inside the glow, you could see. Inside the warmth, you could rest. Inside the smoke and light, predators were less likely to come close. The dark was still out there, but suddenly it had a border. That might be one of the oldest reasons fire still feels comforting. Fire made the dark feel smaller. Think about that for a second. Before fire, darkness surrounded humans completely. After fire, humans could push back. Not forever, not everywhere. But just enough. A campfire was not just a tool. It was a tiny sun that humans learned to carry. That sounds dramatic, but it is true. Fire gave light when the sky took light away. Fire gave warmth when the body could not make enough. Fire cooked food, which made some foods safer, softer, and easier to eat. Fire scared off insects and animals. Fire dried wet things. Fire hardened wooden tools. Fire turned a dangerous landscape into something humans could survive. And once humans had fire, they did not just use it. They gathered around it. That part matters. Because fire was not only survival technology, fire may have been social technology. Imagine an ancient group sitting around flames at night. The day is over. The hunting is done. The food is cooking. The dangerous parts of the world are outside the light. Inside the circle, people can finally stop moving. They can talk. They can watch each other's faces. They can share food. They can teach children. They can tell stories. A campfire may have been humanity's first living room. No walls, no couch, no tiny table with snacks, just people, heat, smoke, and the strange orange light that made everyone visible. This is one reason fire may feel emotional to us. For thousands and thousands of years, fire was where humans became human together. Stories were probably told around fire. Warnings were passed around fire. Plans were made around fire. Laughter happened around fire. Grief happened around fire. The flame was in the center, but the real power was what happened around it. Fire gave humans a place to belong, and maybe that is why a campfire still feels different from sitting under a normal lamp. A lamp gives light. A fire gives atmosphere. A lamp says, "You can see now." A fire says, "Stay here." There is also something strange about the way flames move. Fire is never still. It flickers, bends, rises, disappears, and returns. But it does not move like a wild animal attacking you. It does not move like a machine repeating the same pattern. It changes just enough to keep your attention, but not so much that your brain feels threatened. That kind of movement can feel relaxing. Your brain loves patterns, but it also gets bored when a pattern is too perfect. Fire sits in the middle, predictable enough to feel safe. Unpredictable enough to see interesting. It is basically the world's oldest screensaver, and unlike your phone, it does not ask you to respond to an email. This may be why people can sit silently in front of flames without feeling awkward. The fire gives everyone something to look at. You do not have to fill every second with talking. You can just stare. The flame does the moving for you. That is a rare kind of comfort. Modern life almost never lets us do nothing. There is always a message, a task, a sound, a screen, a reason to check something, but fire asks for nothing. It just moves. And some old part of the brain seems to understand that. This is also why candles feel different from electric lights. A candle does not light a room very well. Honestly, compared to a bulb, a candle is terrible technology. It is weak. It melts itself. It can burn your house down if you forget about it. And yet, people still light candles to relax. Not because candles are efficient, because they feel alive. They make a room feel softer. They make time feel slower. They bring a tiny piece of ancient night into a modern apartment. The same thing happens with fireplaces. Most people do not need a fireplace to survive winter anymore. We have heaters. We have blankets. We have jackets made from materials our ancestors would have thought were magic. But people still want fireplaces. They still want fire pits. They still go camping and sit around flames even when they could be inside with air conditioning and Wi-Fi, which is a very human thing to do. We spent thousands of years trying to escape the dangers of nature. Then on weekends, we voluntarily go back outside and pay money to sit near controlled danger. That is basically camping, but it makes sense. Fire gives modern humans something we rarely get, a feeling of ancient simplicity. There is wood. There is flame. There is warmth. There are people nearby. For a moment, life becomes easier to understand. Not easy, just simpler. And maybe that is why fire feels so powerful. It connects two opposite feelings: danger and safety, movement and calm, destruction and comfort. A fire can burn down a forest, but a small fire can make a freezing night survivable. A flame can destroy a house, but a candle can make a room feel peaceful. Humans are obsessed with fire because fire is one of the first dangerous things we learn to trust. Not completely, never completely, but enough. And that changed us. Fire changed where humans could live. It changed what humans could eat. It changed how long humans could stay awake after sunset. It changed how groups gathered. It changed the stories we told. It may have even changed the way we imagine the world, because once humans had fire, darkness was no longer total. There was always the possibility of light. That idea is still inside us. This is why fire shows up everywhere in human meaning. Birthday candles, Olympic flames, memorial candles, campfires, fireworks, religious lamps, emergency candles during blackouts, even the tiny flame emoji people send when something looks cool. Fire means energy. Fire means life. Fire means danger. Fire means hope. It is one of the few things humans fear and love at the same time. So when you stare at a flame and feel calm, maybe your brain is not being random. Maybe it is remembering something older than words, not a memory from your own life. A memory built into the story of your species. For your ancestors, fire meant the night was not winning yet. It meant the group was together. It meant food was coming. It meant predators might stay away. It meant someone was awake, watching the glow, keeping the darkness at the edge of the circle. And now, thousands of years later, you can sit in front of a candle or a fireplace or a campfire and feel a little of that same ancient relief. The world has changed. The dark is different now. Most of us are not listening for wolves beyond the firelight, but some part of us still understands the glow. Maybe when you stare into fire, you are not just watching flames. Maybe you are watching one of the oldest promises humans ever made to themselves. The dark is still out there. But tonight, we have light.